A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Burton from his Bigelow.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace.
Hello, I am Graham.
And I am Braden.
And we've got a great main topic for you today. We're going to talk about failed franchises, botched franchises, things that should have been great. Turns out they weren't. They overshot.
Yep.
They jumped the shark. One of those things, right?
Flew too close to the sun.
That's right. That's right. I guess before that, though, how you doing, son?
I'm doing good. We've got kind of a fun week coming up here. I'm about to head out of town for almost 3 weeks, so we're going to record a few episodes this week.
We are. We're going to get a little ahead, hopefully, and we're going to do some mini episodes that we haven't done in the past, just to kind of keep some content rolling. And but yeah, that's cool. You got a great trip coming up, and I'm excited to hear about it. How's the weather out there?
It's hot.
Yeah,
it's overcast now too, so it's also pretty muggy. So not a great combination.
Yeah, it's hot here. I can only imagine what you're dealing with.
Not too great. Not too great.
Yeah. Should we get into our 10 and 20?
Let's get into our 10 and 20. This is a segment where we cover 10 topics in roughly 20 minutes, allotting 2 minutes per topic every once in a while. We're not very good at it, but we're just going to break down some current news in the movie and entertainment industry, and we've got some good stuff. You want to start us off?
Yeah, just to be clear, are we not very good at the current news and opinions, or are we not very good at keeping track of time?
Keeping track of time. Maybe. I mean, very rarely do we end under 20 minutes. We really got to get better at this, man.
That's right. I know. It's terrible. Call it our 10 and 21, but it just doesn't have the same flair.
Nope.
All right. I will get us started. And our first topic, the Superman sequel, has been given a release date, July 9th, 2027, as well as a name. Braden, what's that name?
Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrows.
And I think it's worth pointing out.
Of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out that James Gunn has claimed that this is not your typical sequel, where it's not just going to be Superman 2. Where he might not necessarily be the only main character of this movie. So, I mean, that could definitely be a team up between him and his cousin, Kara, though I don't know why it would then be called Man of Tomorrow. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I think this is great news. I think this is it's looking really great for the future of DC when we're getting a sequel announcement that's already been fully written and ready to go into production only a few months after the movie came out. I mean, this is kind of unheard of in the comic book world right now.
Yeah, they're moving quickly in a good direction. It seems like things are good. I'm definitely reaching a point where, similar to how we feel about another James, Big James Cameron.
Yep.
I'm starting to reach the point now where it's like, Big James Gunn, I'm going to just trust whatever he does. I recently went through Peacemaker season 1 and the first couple episodes of season 2, and the guy he sold me. He sold me, and I honestly didn't want to be sold. But so I'm trusting James, and I'm excited about this new Superman, Man of Tomorrow. But we got to wait till July 9th, 2027, which means, by the way, we've got Superman sequel and the Batman sequel in the same year now.
Not to mention Secret Wars and Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Those are 4 crazy comic book movies.
It's going to be a good 27, and hopefully we can survive until then.
I think it's very manageable knowing it's only 2 years away. That's pretty digestible. Here's a question real quick. How are you feeling about this direction that James Gunn is going with? Not so much doing, Batman Part 1, Batman Part 2, or Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and more so going Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and so on and so on. Like, he's not doing 2s, and he's not even doing subtitles. He's just doing titles.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering our main topic today in terms of botched sequels, botched franchises, I think he's going the right direction. I like this direction. I like what he said about each film being its own film, having its own feel, having its own story, not necessarily wanting to fall a victim to the MCU trap where after a few years it just felt like we were having to do homework. And we finally finished our homework. We got that doctorate thesis done with Endgame, and then it was like, oh crap, there's more homework to do. So I understand why he's doing this, and I think it's the right move. So I'm for.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I'll take us into topic number 2. Unfortunately, Jordan Peele's next movie has been removed from the 2026 slate and delayed indefinitely. We didn't really know much about this movie, like in terms of what it was about, but this is just bad news.
We've had a poster for a year.
A poster?
Which is really weird, right? Yeah. They've had a poster all over the place, all over the internet. I've seen it even at movie theaters, literally of just like a decrepit hand holding up a 4, and then you look it up and it's like Jordan Peele's next movie.
Oh, I haven't even seen this.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Oh, this poster. I've been seeing this. It's on Letterboxd. You literally go to most anticipated and look for the 4 fingers holding up. It looks like like a mummy hand or something.
Yeah.
And it is. But it's been out for a year now. I know this. This was originally supposed to be out last year, right? I think 24 was the first release date. Sometime in 2024 was the first release date we got. The writer's strike messed this up, and then they've been continuing to shift it, and now shifted indefinitely.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't get stuck in development hell. I definitely am a fan of his movies. I've seen all 3 of them, and I just looked. I
skipped one, but
I recently. You're talking about Us, right?
I did. I skipped Us. I'm listen, I'm just going to admit it. I'm a scaredy pants.
Yeah.
And it just looked a little too scary for me, but I really liked Get Out, and I loved Nope. Nope was one of my favorite films of the year.
Yeah, I watched Us recently for the first time, and it was creepy, but it was very good. I liked it a lot, but I'll give you that. It was creepy.
Yeah. Now, I think he is bringing something new to the genre. He's bringing something original to our movie industry right now, and I think it's exciting. So this is definitely a huge bummer.
Huge bummer, but hopefully it's because he wasn't fully satisfied, right? And when it does come out, it'll be well worth the wait.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've heard reported is that this was really as much his doing as it was Universal's.
Okay. Well, that's good then.
Yeah. Topic number 3, we've got the Office spinoff. The Paper is getting ready to debut next week, but two things have happened this week. One, early reviews coming out, Rotten Tomatoes score of 87, and season 2 has been picked up already by Peacock before episode 1 of season 1's even been released. That seems fast, right? Because we both talked about the fact that the early trailers, didn't really connect with us as much as we were hoping.
Yeah, I mean, we also touched on the fact that releasing every episode at once didn't seem like there was much confidence in season 1.
Yeah, good point.
But now it seems like there might be a shift a little bit here if they're already renewed for season 2.
Yeah, I mean, 87's a pretty good score. It's been slowly ticking down. I think it started off at like 95. And then
something like that.
A few more reviews have come in, but they're just generally really positive reviews. I'm hoping that I like this show and I'll give it a chance. And I hope that I'm wrong about it not looking great.
Yeah. I want to watch it, and same thing. I would love to love this. I'm just not sure that I will. But
yeah,
it's a spinoff, Maybe Michael Scott will show up in there for 30 seconds, and that'll make it worth it.
I mean, TV history has a number, like you could probably count them on one hand, spinoffs that held their own to the original, in some cases even exceeded the quality of the original, but it's pretty rare.
No, very rare.
We're talking, Better Call Saul. We're talking Frasier. We're talking, I think we'd even have to probably go back to the 60s to start adding more to that list,
Yeah, I mean, Better Call Saul was really good, but I wouldn't say it was as good as Breaking Bad.
Well, and some people think it's better, and I get your point. I don't know that I do, but it's at least comparable. Like, it does justice. Yeah, yes, it does justice. And back in the day, there was maybe no more critically acclaimed series on television, sitcom on television, than Frasier, and it far exceeded anything in terms of critical acclaim that Cheers ever had. So anyway, we'll see. Yeah. Guess time will tell.
Time will tell. Topic number 4. We have a trailer for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Did you watch it?
I did. It caught me off guard how quickly this trailer was ready to go.
This movie's coming out in January.
I know, it's crazy. As much as I liked 28 Years Later, and I did a rewatch recently, so I've now seen it twice. And gosh, dang, did it hold up? It was so much, even to me, it was even better upon a second viewing.
Yeah.
And I definitely upped my my appreciation of it. But for this to come out, it feels so good. Like I'm watching Ray Fiennes, I'm watching Sir Jimmy Crystal on the screen, and little Spike, and I'm just like, I'm ready to jump back in there. Samson, all those, I like
that guy.
I don't even know that I could have named a single character in either of the first two 28 movies.
Absolutely.
As much as I think that 28 Days Later is an absolute masterpiece, and 28 Months Later is a pretty dang good movie, I don't know that I could have named a single character, and yet in this one, I know them all, and I'm ready for round two.
Yeah, absolutely. This trailer got me very excited. I mean, I was already here for it. I enjoyed the first one quite a bit more than you did on your first watch, at least. And this trailer was on par with the trailer for the first one. And I am, as I mentioned, extremely excited that this movie's just a few months away, which is ridiculous. It looks really great. I'm going to be there day one in theaters, as I'm sure you will be too.
Absolutely. Okay, I have a question for you on this topic, though. How do you feel about Danny Boyle not sitting in the director's chair this time around?
Yeah, we have Nia DaCosta, right, who directed The Marvels and Candyman. And then a few other movies that weren't very well received. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a lot of well-received movies. So, I mean, I guess that makes me a little nervous. I didn't realize it wasn't Danny Boyle until you mentioned it to me. But the trailer looks great. It wouldn't be the first time there was a great trailer for an okay movie, but I'm just hoping that it's at least on par with just 28 Years Later.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely a risky move. I hope that she's. I mean, maybe. I mean, Boyle's producing. Garland still wrote it, so hopefully these guys see something in her that we've yet to see in her previous work. But it does make me a little nervous, but I'm here for it either way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just throw a quick hot take out there. I didn't think The Marvels was as bad as everybody else said it was. In fact, I liked it more than Captain Marvel. So
That's interesting.
I wouldn't say I hated that movie. So
no, I actually agree. I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as people made it out to be. I think it was there was a lot of ridiculous rhetoric. I don't know that I think it was better than Captain Marvel, though. I've always been a Captain Marvel defender. I think it's significantly better movie than it gets credit for being. Anyway, let's see how it comes out.
We will see.
Topic number 5, The Rock and his Smashing Machine has got some pretty good reviews coming out of the Venice Film Festival. Long-standing ovation, but that's pretty much normal. I think it seems like you could walk up there and tell a knock-knock joke and they'll give you a 5-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival. Either way, right now, early reviews from are showing up on Rotten Tomatoes at an 83. And we got about a month to go before it releases. What are your thoughts on some of this news, some of this and The Rock himself and this movie?
Yeah, I mean, on the podcast I've said that his movies are generally pretty ridiculous, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gives us something pretty great here for maybe the first time in his career. And I have to be honest, the trailers look good to me. Every time I see the trailer, I'm very intrigued. I want to see this movie. I think it's a show of confidence that critics are getting to watch this and review this a month before its release. And like, they're generally positive. It started off at 90 or 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's obviously in the last couple of days ticked down to 83. Could drop even further at time of releasing this episode, so it's hard to know. But I mean, that's still a good score. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that since they premiered it at the Venice Film Festival, that it was primarily international film critics whose reviews came out early, and maybe they're more favorable in terms of The Rock because I don't even know why, but I think it's interesting. He's on a campaign again, a Black Adam-esque campaign.
The hierarchy of power in Hollywood is about to change forever.
Yeah, that's right. And in this case, he's letting us know it's because he was pigeonholed as a blockbuster movie star, and he's not been allowed to show his chops until now. So I guess we'll see. Is this his Copland?
It absolutely could be.
Yeah.
I mean, between this and him showing up in a Scorsese movie within the next few years, he might be on a little bit of a different path here, and I'm here for it.
Still in denial.
You're counting him out. You're counting him out a little too quick. I think go in with an open mind, give him a chance to surprise you.
Goodness knows he's jumped out of plenty of 2 counts before losing the match. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
See what happens. All right. Why don't you take us on to the next one?
Topic number 6. Warwick. Whoa. Warwick Davis is returning as Phileas Flitwick. Davies?
Davies.
Not Davis?
No, Davies. I'm pretty
Warwick Davies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Keep.
Warwick Davies is returning as Phileas Flitwick in the Harry Potter HBO series. He is the only cast member from the original series to be returning and reprising their role. I think that's pretty interesting. And on top of that, we have just a little bit more casting announcement. We have Goyle, Crabbe, Dean Thomas, Madame Pomfrey, Professor Sprout, Professor Binns, and Grip Hook, all also cast in the new series. I'm not going to go over all the different names. It's quite a bit of information. And there's no like A-list or B-list stars of note, but we're getting more casting information. Yeah, a lot of fresh faces. I love that they are kind of just sprinkling this information out to us every couple weeks to keep us excited, keep us engaged, knowing that they're filming as we go. How do you feel about Warwick returning as the same character as before?
I think it's great. I mean, I think he was a little underutilized in
absolutely
in the original series, and I like him in everything. Like honestly, he's just good. I mean, this is a very nostalgic choice for me. He's been in my life since Return of the Jedi, and he's just done so many great things over the years. And I think that the more we actually get to see him act out of costume, not in like full makeup or full mask or anything like that, I think the better. I don't know if you ever saw the show that he did with Ricky Gervais, but he was hilarious in that. And I think he's a good actor. I think that not enough roles are probably available to him. And so having him back, I think, is a great choice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for it and excited to get a little more Flitwick. Give him another chance at the character. It's just fun,
Yeah. Yeah. Now let me ask you a question on this topic, because I'm looking at my notes here and I'm trying to I think one of the casting announcements was actually for a character that was fairly popular amongst book readers, but never even made the first series, right?
Yeah, Professor Binns.
Okay. Tell me, how do you feel about that? Because I know you're much more. I mean, I love Harry Potter, but you are a student, so help me understand the significance of that announcement.
I mean, I think it's just further reaffirming the fact that they are being more faithful to the books, right? We're getting characters who didn't make the cut the first time around. Professor Binns is by no means an incredibly important character, but he does show up plenty. He shows up in everybody's least favorite class, History of Magic, because they're all being bored to sleep. I don't know the actor who's playing him, but based on his picture, I think it's perfect. He looks like he could bore me to sleep talking about History of Magic. I think it's great. There's actually a lot more exposition that we receive from Professor Binns in the books that just kind of comes from other teachers like McGonagall in the movies. But I think it's great. The more time we get to spend with the students in class, it'll feel more and more like an actual school, right? And a lot of the movies we see them, there's some movies I don't think we see them attend any classes at all. Yeah. So I think the more time we spend in the classroom, the more time we spend with different teachers, we see them dealing with their homework. This is a very big part of the book. Harry's constantly overwhelmed with the essay he has to write for History of Magic and so forth. I think if the show can capture that, I think that'll be a really great thing. And so the fact that they're casting him, letting us know, hey, even though we already knew that they were going to be bringing characters from the books into this series, I think overall, again, and I've said this many times already, I am just now even more excited for this show.
Good. All right, next topic. Pixar is going back to the well, and they're hoping that we think it's incredible. The Incredibles 3 has been announced for 2028 release. That's 10 years since Incredibles 2. Is Pixar, is this the right formula for them? Sequels?
I mean, some of their sequels have definitely been pretty good. I think the Inside Out sequel was very solid. Not as good as the first, in my opinion. and obviously their Toy Story sequels have done pretty well. And
a lot of people love the Toy Story sequels even more than the original. It's a popular opinion.
It is absolutely, and I think Incredibles 2 wasn't very well received. I thought it was plenty entertaining. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but I thought it was
good.
I thought it was good also. It gets a lot of hate. People would have it much lower on their Pixar ranking.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love The Incredibles. You know, I just love superheroes. I grew up watching The Incredibles. I loved Dash. I loved this. I had the Game Boy video game. Yeah, I loved The Incredibles.
I remember that.
So, I mean, part of me is excited and part of me is just feeling the way I feel lately about all the different sequels happening. But Pixar doesn't really put out bad movies, so it's not going to be bad.
Well, their most recent film was their lowest grossing and lowest in terms of critical scores and audience scores, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
See, there you go. But in terms of researching a future episode here, I was just looking at Rotten Tomato scores and audience scores and things like that, and Elio's down at the bottom.
Well, The Incredibles hopefully will not be. Hopefully, it'll be a little more return to form. I bet we get a little bit of a time jump, if I had to guess. Maybe Dash and Violet are grown up a little bit. Jack is more Dash's age.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that either. That's a great idea.
If they don't do that, I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity, honestly.
Yeah, I think Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible ought to be retired at this point.
Yeah,
like, and Dash is sort of like Nightwing age,
Yeah,
like really kicking butt in his own right.
Yeah, and ultimately when Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl have to put the suits back on, it doesn't go quite as it used to go because they're old and cracking and pulling stuff left and right. I think there's a fun concept here.
I mean, that's not so unlike The Incredibles, right? I mean, it was forced retirement, but that's what we were worrying about in The Incredibles, right?
And that's why I think it would be interesting
back into the old suits.
That's why I think it would be interesting here because it'd be under different circumstances, right? Maybe this time he hasn't necessarily let himself go, but it's just natural age, like and many years of fighting crime and saving everybody. His body is, getting old, not because, he got fat, but just because he's getting old and so forth.
Here's hoping.
We got to move on because we are a little over time here. We'll just touch on this one quickly. Starfighter is announced to be a fully standalone project in the Star Wars universe. Don't expect any cameos. Don't expect any references to what's going on in the galaxy. This just takes place in the galaxy a long time ago, galaxy far, far away. Sorry, I messed that up. And we also have Aaron Pierre and Amy Adams have joined the cast. We don't know who they're playing. We still know very little about this movie other than the main cast members now and the fact that it is a standalone and Ryan Gosling will be flying around like a cool pilot. Do you have any strong thoughts on this?
My first thought is that I'm glad they're making it standalone.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm pro exploring the Star Wars universe absent of the Skywalkers in general. I love the Skywalkers, but I feel like unfortunately Lucas and then Disney, they beat it to death and then they started pouring dirt on top of it, in my opinion. And so I'm happy to see things that fall outside of that. One of the reasons why I love Andor. I understand Andor. One of the reasons that I love Andor is that it sits outside of that world.
Zero
even
Skywalkers in sight.
That's right. Even though it eventually does tie into, Rogue One, which is Skywalker adjacent. I think that what makes it work is that it's separate. So to know we're going to explore another part of the Star Wars world, that makes me really excited. I also, by the way, that's one of the things that I love most about The Mandalorian, especially season 1, was it puts us into a world that we love, but it doesn't require us to always be worried about how this is going to tie back to Luke and Leia.
Yeah,
and so I'm in for it.
Fair enough. I'm with you there.
All right, we have an announcement that Gladiator 3 is now officially in the works. I don't believe we have a release date yet. are we ready for more of this particular world? I mean, we how did you feel about Gladiator 2, for example?
I honestly thought it wasn't good. I was pretty optimistic. The trailers were very...
Not good.
Yeah, no, the trailers were very good.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited to go see it. We went and saw it together. And, man, I was just severely underwhelmed. I thought the acting was not good. I thought the emotional beats that were supposed to hit didn't hit. I thought the insinuations of who certain characters were pretty blasphemous, and just kind of completely character assassinated Maximus and other characters from the first. I think overall I was just very let down by it. I would probably never watch it again, and now I'm going to watch it again before the third one comes out, to get caught back up. But I thought 2 was already too much, so I'm really not looking forward to 3.
I agree. I think this puts us into the same conversation that we've had on a couple other topics in this 10 and 20. Sometimes you just don't need to do a sequel. Sometimes you don't need to turn it into a franchise. I'm with you on this. I would prefer that they not make a Gladiator 3.
In fact, I think this could pretty easily show up on in our main topic of failed franchises. I mean, you have a really great movie in Gladiator, and now here it is. They're launching a franchise.
Try and franchise it. All right. Well, let's not spoil it for now.
We already touched on our. We gave a preview.
No, I mean that what's going to be on our list.
Oh yeah, it's not on my list.
I'm
but.
just.
anyways,
it could be.
It could be. Yes, it might be.
Such a tease, Braden.
But
Such
it's
a tease.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, last topic. Let's run through it quickly. Yeah. We have not talked about Alien Earth in a week or two. There are now 5 episodes out, I believe, and I'm up to date. Are you up to date?
I am, absolutely.
How have you felt about the last few episodes? We talked about 1 through 3 so far, I believe.
Yeah, did we? Okay, so I'm still really enjoying the show a lot, and in fact, my hot take is I think episode 5 was the best yet. I really enjoyed the hell out of 5, which I think was called In Space No One Can Hear You Scream, which is, obviously slogan from Alien that we both really love so much. My favorite part of episode 1 was that opening sequence when they're on that ship, and it just felt so classically Ridley Scott and Alien, and I loved it so much. I thought they did such an amazing job, and I was so bummed that they all died so fast and then we were gone from there. As much as I enjoyed the other stuff with the Lost Boys and Wendy and everything, but I was so glad to go back and relive the part of the story that we hadn't seen. So I don't know how I was so stupid to have not seen that flashback coming, as I should have, but I'm really glad when they gave it to us.
Yeah, I don't think. Sorry, no, I was just gonna say I don't think it's stupid of you to think not. I mean, obviously, you touched on everything you just said. You mentioned a couple episodes ago, and I almost thought they were gonna do something just really ballsy and give us a whole cast of characters that they just killed off. I mean, I didn't see that as outside the realm of possibility, so I don't think it was stupid at all to not see the flashback coming. But I do have to agree with you. Episode 5 was really good. I mean, it was the best of the season so far, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, and it's been a good season, so I'm pumped. I think they're doing a great job. And they're doing exactly what Noah Hawley has been good at, by the way. And he directed this most recent episode. They're doing exactly what he's really, really good at, and that's taking a world that we already know and love, and that we feel really protective of. And he's expanding on it in ways we didn't see coming, and yet somehow still feel respectful and true to the original source material. And I felt that way with the seasons of Fargo, and so far 5 episodes in, I feel that way about Alien Earth as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm loving the show. Do you know how many more episodes we have left?
I don't. I should. I doubt it's more than 3, but I hope it's more. I mean, I was guessing this was going to be an 8 to 10. Episode arc, but I haven't actually looked it up.
10. I'm feeling that way about it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good 10 and 20.
It was.
Not too bad.
It only took us 30.
Something stupid like that.
Not quite 30.
We told you guys we weren't good at it. What do you want from us?
We're not good at it.
We didn't make the rules.
Right. Focus on our lack of timing skills, not our opinions about the things we just talked about.
Yes.
shall we get into our main topic?
Let's do it. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna give our listeners and viewers a quick, let's say, set of rules in terms of what we're talking about here, right? So we mentioned Gladiator earlier. We mentioned I remember what the other one was that we were talking about, Superman and sequels that maybe shouldn't have happened or things like that, and some that we do think should happen. So we're going to focus on botched franchises. We're gonna do a draft style again. We're gonna try and come up with the best of the worst in terms of franchises that we had high hopes for that just got messed up and fell apart and were a total disappointment. Now, to be clear, let's just so you and I are on the same page about the rules. It can be, as you previewed with the potential for Gladiator, it could be a 2-movie franchise. It could be something that there was a perfect original and then they brought out a sequel and that just kind of ruined it. From our perspective. So it doesn't have to be like a literal, 3, 5, 10 movie franchise, but in some cases it could be.
Yeah. And also I would just like to point out, I don't think it has to be something that only has one good property and then is mostly bad after that. It could be hot and cold. It could be a lot of good and then a lot of bad. So we'll be a little all over the place. We're a little flexible with the rules. I guess if you call something out that I think is BS, I'll just say BS and vice versa. But I don't see that happening.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you want to lead us off? We're going to snake draft it again, and then, or do you want me to lead it off?
I started us off last time. I think it's only fair you go first this time.
Okay. Fair enough. I think I am going to kick it off with the Jurassic franchise.
That's tough because that was probably my first pick also.
I think it's the best example. You have one of the best summer blockbusters ever made in the original Jurassic Park, and then the drop off to 2 and 3 is significant. It's significant. Decades later, we get a reboot with Jurassic World, which I think is legitimately good. I enjoy it a lot. I think that a lot of people give the Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt movie a lot of crap. I think it's a great reboot, which is then followed by now 3 more pretty bad Jurassic World movies. I think you and I were both much nicer to Jurassic World Rebirth than most people, and in hindsight, we were too nice.
I hated Rebirth.
You can blame this on me.
Rebirth. I'm thinking Dominion. No, Rebirth Dominion, I thought was just completely okay.
Yeah, just completely okay. So what we've got here is we now have 7 films in the Jurassic series. To me, 2 of which are good. 2 of 7. So they almost resurrected this franchise, but they did not. So I'm going to put the Jurassic franchise in our first draft pick for failed franchises. What are your thoughts there?
Like I said, it hurts because that's a great pick. It's kind of the obvious one, if we have to be honest. Jurassic Park is one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion. Yep. And it's followed up by 2 movies that, I mean, they're not the worst thing in the world, but they're really not great.
They're totally forgettable.
It is a franchise that has 2 good movies in it and 4 or 5 bad movies in it. So it's pretty much the epitome of this list. So it hurts a little bit that you took it from me. But what are you going to do?
Listen, let me to wrap the Jurassic piece up. I doubt we're done with it.
No, we're not. They're
going to keep spinning these.
There will
these
be
things
one out in 2 years.
This Rebirth was one of the most successful films of 2025. It's just not good, but people paid to see it.
People pay to see these freaking movies. I don't get it.
We're for sure going to see another one in this franchise.
How do these movies make billions of dollars every time? They haven't had a good one in years.
Because we want it. We have that childlike hope,
wonder
that the movies promote. So all right. So the number 1 spot is the Jurassic franchise. Braden, you've got 2 and 3. I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
I'm pretty happy to have 2 and 3. I think I can do a lot of damage here. In fact, okay. I was a little worried. I wasn't sure which one to pick, and then I remembered I got 2 picks, so I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Good. Takes the pressure off.
Yeah, absolutely. In the second round, my draft pick is going to be the DC Extended Universe. This is a.k.a. the Snyderverse, right? Snyder was not responsible for every single one of these movies, but he did kick off this universe with Man of Steel and then Batman vs. Superman, which pretty quickly segued into Wonder Woman and then the Justice League, which everybody knows the story about the Justice League and Zack's cut and so forth. But I mean, I love Man of Steel.
And then we get Aquaman and the Flash movies too, right?
Don't worry, I'm about to get there. There. Don't you worry.
Okay.
We have Man of Steel, which is a great movie. Henry Cavill was made to play Superman, and it is a crime that he wasn't treated better in the role. Then we have Batman v Superman, completely misunderstood. It's a hidden gem, especially the director's cut, completely underrated, severely overhated. I will die on that hill.
History will be on our side, son.
Yeah.
History will be on our side.
They will. They call us crazy now, but
that's right.
One day they'll call us pioneers.
That's right.
And then
prophets.
Then we had Wonder Woman, which was also pretty dang good. I mean, It's not the best, but it is good. And then Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, I think, is phenomenal, especially when you consider when it would have come out. It would have come out pre-Infinity War, pre-Endgame. It really is just a big, big bummer, the circumstances of its release. But that being said, those are 4 really good movies. And then we have Aquaman and Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, The Birds of Prey, Blue Beetle. I mean, the list goes on. There's like Black Adam, and there's like 3 or 4 that I'm missing.
The 2 Suicide Squad movies in there?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Both the Suicide Squad movies. I think James Gunn's Suicide Squad is pretty good.
Yeah, I just rewatched it last week.
Yeah, out of that whole batch of DC movies I just mentioned, those are all bad movies in my opinion.
Yeah.
Major
Did you squeeze the
fall
Shazams
off.
in there? Where you put the Shazams?
I have them. I enjoyed Shazam when I saw it in theaters, but
Shazam,
that movie,
the Uno?
Yeah, Uno. That movie has aged so poorly for me. The few times I've rewatched that movie, I have liked it less and less, to the point where I would actually have both of those Shazam movies on the lower half of the DCEU. I think these movies were all kind of just garbage towards the end. They tried to pick up the pieces. They tried to, Zack Snyder wasn't involved anymore because of everything that went down. It was just kind of a bloodbath. And then they tried to kind of create the cinematic universe similar to Marvel, and they just were failing tremendously. And this was when Marvel was at the height of their power, mind you.
Yeah.
So
they rushed it. They rushed it, and they also put somebody in charge, and then they immediately undermined him.
Yeah.
So luckily they're doing it right this time by putting James Gunn in charge and letting him really be in charge. But they ostensibly wanted to do that or announced that they were going to do that with Snyder. He was supposed to be that in a lot of ways, not a studio head, but he was the creative voice behind that universe. And then after one movie, they cut him off at the knees, and kind of let him get eaten alive publicly.
Yeah, it's very rough, very sad the way that everything went down, and honestly honestly just a major regret. I mean, ultimately when it's said and done, I think based off of how the first few movies started, they could have built something pretty dang cool, even if it wasn't for everyone. And then they tried to go just way too commercial in a way that just didn't match. It didn't work. And then they just started pumping out garbage, and they needed to hit their 2 to 3 movies a year, and none of them were good. And so ultimately, I think that the DCEU has one of the hardest fall-offs in any franchise ever. And that's why it's my first pick, but my second round draft pick.
God, so much bad luck too, right?
So much.
Everything that happened in Snyder's personal life. Then you've got COVID hitting, which completely derails and changes Wonder Woman 84. You've got Ezra Miller
doing whatever
they did, which threw off everything that was happening with the Flash. Like, it was just like anything that could go wrong went wrong with this, and on top of the fact that they tried to rush it.
Yeah.
I agree. Good second choice. I think that makes good sense in our number 2 spot.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and hit us with my third round pick as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty happy about this one as well. it's another no-brainer in my opinion, and that's going to be the Fantastic Beasts franchise. This, I mean, in my opinion, we have 8 really great Harry Potter movies. I think those are all top-tier movies. Some are better than others, but I think they're all phenomenal. And then they tried to branch off, I don't know why, with this specific story. To this day, I could not figure out why they decided that this was the story to tell. But they give us this Fantastic Beasts franchise that has an identity crisis immediately after the first movie. The first movie is the most cohesive because it really is focused on these Fantastic Beasts and this main character, Newt Scamander.
Wait, how many were there? Were there 3?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't even remember there were 3.
I was thinking there were 2. No, I was only thinking that,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Me too. Here's the thing. Like I said, the first one focused on these Fantastic Beasts. It had a little bit of an overarching story, and we were introduced to Grindelwald at the end of it. But we should have known we were in trouble as soon as the next movie came out, and it was still called Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Like, I don't know why we still needed the Fantastic Beasts as the main title with the subtitle of Crimes of Grindelwald, because then this next movie is all about Grindelwald, and it has a few Fantastic Beasts in it, and Newt Scamander is kind of in the movie. And then we go on to our third movie, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, which, by the way, is a horrible title. And we realize what they're building up to is this legendary duel between Dumbledore and Grindelwald that we hear about in the books. And at some point as this movie's coming out, they kind of realize that they're not going to get to make any more. So we don't see that duel, but we see the duel they had right before that duel. And it was completely confusing. Newt is barely in the movie. I don't know what Fantastic Beasts are even in that movie. It is truly, I can't believe how boring and forgettable that movie was. I walked out of that theater, truly one of the only times I've sat in a theater and just thought the whole time, like, can this be over already? And I love Harry Potter. I love the Wizarding World, and it made me feel this way. These movies are disappointing.
I mean, I'll take it a step further. I actually had this on my list as well as potentially draft, so you took this one from me. But I actually wrote it down as the Harry Potter franchise. Like, to me, the Fantastic Beasts movies are so bad that they're a black eye on the Harry Potter film universe in general.
No, absolutely.
I agree with you. By the way, another one, like, just, I don't want to say bad luck. I mean, this is, again, Disney, or not Disney. Who was it? It's Universal, right? Universal turning their back on Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Disney did too. Both studios turned their back on him.
And putting too much faith in Ezra Miller again.
Yes. Oh, wow. Good choice. Yeah. This could have been something big, and it is really something completely unforgettable and totally avoidable.
I mean, they couldn't give us a story about the Founders or the Marauders or anything that took place after Harry Potter. Instead, they needed to give us a story based on a textbook mentioned a few times in the books. I mean, this was kind of doomed from the beginning, if we're being completely honest.
Could have been. And by the way, now they have announced that we are going to be getting a Founders story, either in film or on television. I'm not sure which, but they're going to do the Founders of Hogwarts.
I keep seeing this, but not in, like the completely reputable way we normally see things. So I'm still not completely sure about this.
Maybe I just made it up. Who knows? Okay. So let's jump into the next one. So number 4. This is a tricky one. I'm going to stick with, you kind of touched on the DC version of this. I'm going to go with the Marvel version of this, but the Marvel B-side version of this, I'm going to call the Sinister Six failed franchise as the number 4 spot. So this is everything that Sony did with the villains, from the Venom movies to the Morbius to everything else that they wanted us to get excited about, that just none of which has worked at all. And it's become really clear to everyone that has a brain that the only version of the Spider-Man world or of a Marvel world that Sony can figure out how to make is if Marvel is literally involved. If Marvel Studios is literally involved, they can't do it on their own. So, that's my pick for number 4, and I think I got some pretty solid ground there. What do you think about the Sinister Six that went nowhere?
Yeah, that's rough. I'm not gonna lie, that one hurts. I mean, talk about just corporate bullshit. I mean, these movies are so bad.
Language.
Is there a good one? Like, truly, can you think of a single one of these Sony movies? I don't even think Venom is good. The first one. I don't think any of them are good.
And as you and I both love Tom Hardy, and these are just bad movies. They're all bad. I mean,
super disappointing. Yeah, that hurts, like I said, because this, again, prime example of trying to make something happen that just was not happening.
Yep. All right, good. So I've got 5, right?
You got 5.
All right. I am going to go with... I'm going to go with The Matrix.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Feels like you're kind of pandering to the masses rather than your own opinion here.
No. Because I really feel like the original trilogy I'm down with. And I understand that that the third installment there, Revolutions, right? That Revolutions was not as good as the others, but I still enjoy all 3. It's a massive drop off from 1. I get it. I'm a big fan of Reloaded, to be honest. I'm super. I like Reloaded a lot.
I like Reloaded a lot as well.
Yeah. Revolutions drops off, but it's doable. But then they circle back like nearly 20 years later with Resurrection. And it's so unwatchable, and I think it just makes you it makes all the flaws of Revolutions stand out even more, and it really kind of is a bummer that they killed this franchise off with that one. So I'm going to choose The Matrix in my number 5 slot. Why do you feel like I'm pandering at this point? Because
you're a really big fan of the first 3 movies for the most part, right?
I am, but I absolutely hate the 4th one, and I wanted to like it so bad. I mean, listen. Again, this was a COVID thing, right? I mean, we weren't getting a lot of good stuff.
We were desperate.
We were desperate.
We would take anything.
Even in our desperation, this was a hot pile of stinking garbage.
The trailer was better.
And the trailer is definitely better than the movie. Yeah.
Should have just left it at a trailer.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So it seriously bums me out, and I don't want to get near it. But yeah, I mean, again, I understand Revolutions has flaws, but Resurrections is absolutely abysmal, and to me, it kills the franchise.
It's fair. It is abysmal. All right, I have 6 and 7. Feeling pretty confident again.
Okay, you got some good ones for me?
And I'm not going to lie. I just have to be completely honest here. One of these wasn't even on my list until just a moment ago. It just popped into my head as you were talking about something else. And I think it's a pretty good pick, I have to be honest. So in my 6th slot, in the 6th round draft pick, I'm going to take Universal's failed MonsterVerse franchise.
Oh, damn. That was my next. That was my next pick.
This is smart. I'm sorry. This is a good one.
That was my next pick.
Because holy crap, I almost forgot about it because it really never got off the ground. I mean,
one film basically.
One movie killed this franchise. I remember. I can picture it in my head. The image they released of Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Johnny Depp, and a few other famous actors who playing all these different characters in this MonsterVerse they were building. This was when everybody was trying to be the new MCU. Everybody wanted a cinematic universe, right?
It'd been a while since Universal had a really good hit.
Yeah, and it was somewhat intriguing. It sounded cool. These monster movies can be fun. The Mummy franchise is fun, anything like this. And they had some big names attached to it. And that Tom Cruise Mummy movie came out, and holy crap, was it bad. I forget it exists all the time, and they just canceled everything right from there. they had all the Johnny Depp posed for this picture and then never filmed a single thing. I mean, this was just, this franchise never saw the light of day. There was one horrendous movie, and it was so bad. it was not enough to save the rest of the universe. It was dead in the water from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I almost picked it in the 5 slot, but I thought I might sneak it past you. I thought it might be available for me in 7. So
gotcha.
Damn it, you snuck that one out. But yeah, that's a good one. That was an absolute mess. Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy knowing that it was on your list, because I'm not even so much in this to win as I am to hurt you. So
Damn. Come on, man.
All right. In my 7th round
next?
draft pick, I'm taking the X-Men franchise, actually. So another comic property. And I don't think this is an example of, a good movie and then a bunch of bad movies. I just think that as a whole, this is one of the hottest and coldest franchises to exist. It went through reboots and rewrites and constant timelines and plot holes. I don't think there's a messier franchise than this. It starts off with X-Men, which I am not as hot on as most people are. I think it has not aged well at all. But then we have X2, which I think is one of the best comic book movies. I think X2 is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Followed up by X-Men: The Last Stand, which we don't even need to mention how bad that movie is. They then move
People
on.
People hate that movie so much. It's hilarious to me.
You hate that movie.
I never thought it was terrible.
Oh, BS, dude. I grew up enjoying that movie, and you made me feel shame for it. You made me feel shame.
I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I think the first one wasn't bad at all. I mean, I think that Singer, but listen, I'm a singer. I was at the time I was a Singer fan, before stuff came out about him not being a very good person. But I mean, The Usual Suspects, for God's sake. I mean, such an incredible film. So I was pro X-Men at the time. But yeah, okay. So it unfortunately keeps getting worse after Last Stand.
No, it gets much worse, because then from there we get, first we get X-Men Origins Wolverine, bad,
which is
really bad. Yeah. But then we get a little bit of a reboot. We move on to a new cast. It's a prequel series, which, mind you, very dangerous to do, because lot of hoops you have to jump through to keep the story making sense. But we have really great casting with Professor X and Magneto. Some of the other characters are cast very well. And
this was huge. Jennifer Lawrence was. I don't think you can underplay how big she was at the time.
Exactly. So then, I think that's a great movie, and it's followed up with
First Class specifically. You mean?
Yes, First Class is really good. Then we have The Wolverine, which I am much hotter on than most people. I think, other than the third act, I think it is a really solid movie.
I agree.
The third act, it definitely stumbles a little bit, but it's very solid. Then, from there, Days of Future Past, arguably the best X-Men movie. That is a really phenomenal movie. It's potentially a top 10 comic book movie for me, maybe top 15, but it's up there in the conversation. But then shit hits the fan again, because we continue on with X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants, and again, these movies, they're just not making sense, because we keep resetting the timeline. We keep recasting actors, and then 5 years apart, we go from, Sir Ian McKellen to Michael Fassbender. Like, it's just nothing's making sense. None of the timelines are making sense. Characters who aren't supposed to be there are there, vice versa. They keep trying to make it all fit, and it's just not. Mind you, there's some other good ones in there, like Deadpool. Deadpool 2, I think, is not nearly as good as the first Deadpool. I think it's...
Are you counting that as part of the X-Men franchise? I don't count that as part of the X-Men franchise at all.
Again...
I mean, I understand that there are debatable. X-Men in it.
It's debatable.
I see the X-Men franchise as ending with Dark Phoenix.
Well, yeah, Dark Phoenix was the last one to come out.
Well, right. So, but I'm saying not if you count the Deadpool movies.
No, I believe Dark Phoenix was the very last Fox X-Men property to come out.
You're saying before Marvel?
before Marvel started making content with the mutants. But real quick, I just have to mention, Logan is also a part of this franchise. And Logan is just phenomenal. We've talked about James Mangold. Logan is, it's on its own island over here in just phenomenal movies. But my point is these aren't only bad movies. And it's not like it started off really great and then really fell off. My point is it's so sloppy. It was done with practically zero care, zero thought. They just kept throwing these characters on screen, knowing that we would show up. And there was no real cohesive story or heart behind it at all. Plenty of them work as standalone, but the issue is they're not trying to be standalone movies. They're trying to tell an overarching story. They're trying to be this franchise, and ultimately, I think it really stumbles and it really fails.
Yeah. So, like you started off by saying, some very high highs, some very low lows. Some of the lowest lows, some of the highest highs. Zero inconsistency. It was as if it was like one for them, one for us, one for them, one for us kind of a franchise. It's so
definitely
up and down.
Extremely. And
all right.
That means you're up. And I've got one more that I'm really looking at for my last pick, so I'm hoping you don't grab it here.
Yeah. So I've got two more in the 8 slot. I feel pretty confident about what I'm gonna say here. I'm choosing the Middle Earth franchise in the 8th slot. You've got 3 masterpieces followed by 3 piles of crap that just drive me insane. And it almost, the fact that they exist and the fact that we're going back to it again, I just like, can we just leave this alone? Like the 3 Lord of the Rings movies are so perfect. The 3 Hobbit movies are so trash. And by the way, from a novel perspective, I think I've told you this before, like I prefer The Hobbit. Like I will read The Hobbit over and over and over again. I think it's a brilliant novel. It did not need to be expanded into 3 movies. And the Lord of the Rings films, so Fellowship, 2 Towers, and Return of the King are a rare exception where a filmmaker is somehow able to take a source text and make it better. And by that I just mean he trimmed it down, he edited it, he made it more palatable. There are times, and I know that people will come at me for this, but there are times when the Lord of the Rings books are boring. They can be a tough read. You have to really want to love these. But Peter Jackson solved that with the films. He then pissed all over it with the Hobbit movies. And so for me, I'm choosing the Middle-earth Saga in my 8th slot of botched franchises.
Yeah, I think that's a throw, honestly, because they are definitely lower in quality, but they are not piles of garbage. The Battle of Five Armies is a pile of garbage. I will give you that. But An Unexpected Journey is by no means a pile of garbage. And The Desolation of Smaug is also not bad. I mean, those are both decent movies.
It's at best fine. But how do you compare that to the original 3? How many times have you rewatched the original trilogy of The Lord of the Rings?
Absolutely.
Like, you've seen each of those 3 movies, I would guess a minimum 12 times a piece, if not more. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. How many times have you rewatched the Hobbit movies?
Twice. Yeah. Listen,
you were trying to get there. You were trying to get there with that.
I didn't say that they're Lord of the Rings. So yes, I will give you that it's a drop off, but I'm just saying they are not piles of garbage.
It's a massive drop off. I think they're piles of garbage. I have no interest in rewatching the Hobbit movies at all. And I'll take it a step further. I'm not at the moment the least bit interested in the continuing adventures of Gollum and etc. I don't really care about that. I think the first 3 films are perfect. I'll take the director's cuts even more perfect. I want that, and I want that only.
All right, just go ahead and give us your 9.
All right, this is tricky. This is Okay, I'm gonna go a little further back. And I'm gonna say my next pick is the First Blood franchise.
Good.
Okay. First Blood is an absolute brilliant film. It is one of Stallone's 2 to 3 best performances where he's truly acting. It is heartfelt. It is loaded with action. It is cool. Like, it is such a great movie. And they have made, I think, 4 sequels. several of which were very popular. Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and then they jumped into a few others after that years later. They're all terrible. They're all trash. They're all exploitative. But First Blood is not. First Blood is not exploitative. First Blood is not, let's just, blow people up from the waist down. I mean, just for the sake of it. It's heartfelt and it's compelling and it makes you think, and it's a truly great, great film. And everything that came after it was pure franchise money grab bullshit, and I think it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna put the First Blood franchise as a failed opportunity. And before I turn it over to you, I want to tell you one quick story. The role of Colonel, I can't even remember his name now, but the Colonel in the film was originally offered to Kirk Douglas, and he turned it down because he said in the script it would make more sense if John Rambo dies at the end of First Blood. That is the natural conclusion for the story, is that he needs to die. And they told him, no, we're not going to change the story. And so he decided to not take the part. And it went to Richard Crenna, who did a great job. Colonel Troutman. And he did a great job. But he told the story once, and he was like, look, I think I was right. But had they listened to me, they wouldn't have made several other very successful but not very good movies. And I couldn't agree with him more. So anyway, that's my choice in the 9 slot.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting choice. I'll give you that. I don't think it's going to win you the game, though. So while I agree with you, I think it was kind of soft. It's kind of soft.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'd like to know what your number 10 was.
I'm struggling here. I'm struggling between two franchises.
There's a couple good ones out there still.
Yeah, there definitely are. I'm struggling between two that both started in the 80s. And and both worked their way up into the 2000s, one of which I think even the 2010s, almost the 2020s. So, yeah, this is tough. I'm really torn. All right, I think I know what I have to do here. I'm going to give you my pick, and then I'm going to tell you what I'll give you my honorable mention first. My honorable mention is going to be Die Hard. I think...
Oh, that's an honorable mention. You're not choosing Die Hard.
I'm not picking Die Hard. Die Hard is my honorable mention. I think that is a nearly perfect action movie, the first one. So quotable. I mean, still relevant today. I mean, people are still talking about whether or not this is a Christmas movie or not. It's extremely relevant movie, followed up by a completely lackluster sequel, but kind of found its footing again with the third. Nowhere near the heights of the first, but the third is completely enjoyable. And then
Die Hard with a Vengeance, right?
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance. But then we have...
I think that's a good one. I think it's good.
Yeah, it is
Die Hard with a Vengeance is a good film, yeah.
But then
Jeremy
we have
Irons
Live
is a
Free.
Great villain.
Live Free or Die Hard, and then A Good Day to Die Hard. I mean, those two of the biggest piles of dog crap I've ever seen.
They're pretty bad.
The only reason I'm not giving it to this list is it has 2 out of 5 that I would consider good movies. And my other list is...
I think, just to be fair, I think that's a lower percentage than your choice with X-Men. But fair enough.
It is. But the reason my number 10 pick is getting picked is it is 2 out of 6 movies that I think are good movies. And so one more bad movie in this franchise. So in my 10 slot, I'm going to go ahead and take the Terminator franchise.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, good choice.
I think
now that I'm thinking about it, that's a good choice.
Obviously, we have Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day are very great movies. Super iconic. Equally, I would actually say probably even more so quoted than Die Hard. I mean, you got your Yippee-Ki-Yay, but I'll Be Back. Come on. Classic. Arnold.
If you want to live, come with me.
Yeah, come with me if you want to live. Arnold at the height of Arnold. These two movies are super iconic. I mean, James Cameron doing his thing. Many would consider Terminator 2 one of the greatest, if not the greatest sequel ever. So really strong start to the franchise. But then Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, crap. Terminator Salvation, which, mind you, has Christian Bale in it, one of my favorite actors. That's one of the hardest movies I've ever tried to get through. Not because it was so horrible, but because it was so dang boring and confusing. It was just so hard to watch. And then
there was a TV show in there too, by the way.
Oh, see, you're just making my list even better right now because I didn't even know that.
I think it was called the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah. Even better. Bring it on. It on.
Back in the day when we were all chronicling things.
Now we have the rebooted franchise that came out, started in 2015 with Emilia Clarke, Terminator Genesis. It's not great. It's not the worst one on this list, but it's definitely not great. And then Terminator Dark Fate. I watched this movie. I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in this movie. It's just bad. I mean, these movies, it really fell off. I know there was an anime, Terminator anime, that just came out. I haven't seen it yet. But overall, I mean, this is a franchise. I mean, talk about fall off. 2 great movies and then 4 really bad movies. And they just keep coming out. It started 84, 91, 2003, 2009, 2015, 2019. This franchise won't die. Similar to the Terminators. No. They just keep coming back, but they keep coming back worse. The Terminators come back stronger each time. This franchise comes back weaker every single time.
Yeah,
every single time.
This is a good choice. In fact, I feel like you've successfully convinced me. It should have been like your number 3 or something. I don't know. It should have been up there higher.
You're right.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
I just thought you wouldn't pick it. That's why it's as far down here as it is. I thought I could get it past you.
Honestly, it was on my list of honorable mentions, but you've done a better job of arguing it than I have. I think that's a good list. Okay. Any other honorable mentions you want to throw out before I throw a couple and then we rehash?
Yeah, I'll throw out a few. I mean, I think the Shrek franchise is pretty solid at the beginning, very solid, and then has 2 pretty bad sequels and a pretty bad show. The Transformers.
And we have another one coming.
Yeah.
Transformers, yeah.
Transformers, okay. I think the first movie is decent. It's not the best, but it's, again, these are just soulless sequels that keep coming out. We talked about Jaws. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's a failed franchise because it was trash from the beginning and it was good IP. So I just think I don't think any of those movies are good. Yeah, fair enough. We talked about Jaws, a nearly perfect movie, perfect in your book, followed up by some of the worst movies ever made. Here's a hot take. I would throw Star Wars in there. I think Star Wars, I couldn't call it a failed franchise because clearly it's one of the most successful franchises of all time.
Yeah.
But in terms of quality, similar to X-Men, I feel like it's kind of one for us, one for them, you know? Very hot and cold franchise. I would throw Pirates in there as well. I'm a big fan of the first 3, but I think they get progressively worse. I think 1 is the best, 2 is next, 3 is next, 4 is horrible, and 5 is horrible.
Yep.
And
I had that one too.
And then 2 more I would throw in there real quick would be Percy Jackson. Or I'll do 3 more. Percy Jackson, I think, failed franchise from the start. Really poor adaptation. Maze Runner, similarly, first movie was pretty fun. The second,
tapping all the YA stuff.
The second and third are really just hard to get through. And my last honorable mention is going to be G.I. Joe. Another franchise that I think there are no good entries. And there's even one that has come out within the last 4 years, I think, maybe 5 years, the Snake Eyes. And I didn't see it. I don't even know anybody who did see it. I think another great example of a franchise that just, they kept releasing movies, but I'm not sure who for, you know?
Yeah. Good list of honorable mentions. I've just you nailed several of mine. I'm going to throw 2 more on the fire. I'm going to start with one of my favorite novel franchises, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think that this had an opportunity to be a really great franchise, but I don't know if it was ever truly adaptable. There are aspects of the film that the only film they made that I enjoy, and there are things that I just think they get horribly wrong, and it was very clear. Even as I was watching the first one in theaters, being such a huge fan of Hitchhikers, I was saying to myself, well, there's no way they're making Restaurant at the End of the Universe, even though they even reference it as the final line in the film. They reference the sequel, and they're definitely never coming back to it. And the next one, I would say, the last one on my honorable mention list that you didn't already mention was Mortal Kombat. I think we're getting a third or fourth. I can't even keep track. I think I've seen at least two. If maybe there's a third, I don't even know.
There's three out.
They're all bad. I don't really have any interest in going back to it. It blows me away that Kyle Urban and others are signing up to do these films because they all look so bad, and I have zero interest in them at all. So that's the last one that was on my honorable mention. So why don't you recap our list and let's see how we did.
Yeah. So in our 2025 draft of failed or botched franchises, in the number one slot, you took the Jurassic franchise. Pretty great pick. Honestly, might have been my first. In the second slot, yeah. In the second slot, I took the DC Extended Universe, aka the Snyderverse. Again, we are Snyder apologists. The Snyder movies in this franchise are great, in my opinion, and pretty much everything else is garbage. In my third slot, I took the Fantastic Beasts or the Wizarding World franchise. 8 great Harry Potter movies and 3 progressively worse Fantastic Beast movies. Really disappointing. In the fourth slot, you took the Sonyverse, being the Sony Spider-Verse, not the animated movies, but specifically the Madam Webs and the Venoms and the Cravens and the Morbiuses. Yeah. I mean, that's my biggest competitor on this list right here. I mean, that was just bad. In the 5 slot, you took Matrix. You love Matrix 1. You love 2. You enjoy 3, but you hate 4. I'm not huge on 3 or 4. I think they're both pretty bad, but another great pick. In 6, I took Universal's Monsterverse. This only had one movie, The Mummy. Tom Cruise killed this franchise immediately. Johnny Depp never got to show up on screen as an invisible man. Who knows if he would have ever even been on screen.
Yeah, you snagged this one from me. I'm still upset about it.
Great snag. Probably won me the round. In 7, I took the X-Men. Again, very hot and cold franchise. You said it's one for us, one for them. There's a good one, then there's a bad one. Talk about continuity errors all over the place. This 50-50. Franchise could not get it together. It just couldn't find its footing ever. Too many reboots to count. In 8, you took the Middle-earth franchise. We are huge on Lord of the Rings. You are really low on the Hobbit movies. I'm not as low.
They're just trash.
No, they're not trash. Again, I think it's a bit of a softball. I think I'm going to take this round overall. In the 9 slot, you took the First Blood franchise, also known as Rambo. You gave some great explanations as to why that should have been one movie, but people really enjoy those sequels. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of sympathy there.
I think they liked one sequel. I don't even know if they really liked Rambo 3, but anyway.
And lastly, in the 10 slot, I took the Terminator franchise. This is the franchise with 2 good movies to start off and then 4 movies that get progressively worse. They're all bad. Terminators come back stronger. The movies come back worse every single time. Yeah. So I think ultimately I probably won this draft. I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's a solid 10. So let us know your thoughts. Give us your comments on YouTube, Spotify, IG, wherever you happen to pay attention to us even a little bit. Let us know your thoughts on this list. What did we forget? What was the franchise that you would have put on this list, and then which one of us had the better list?
Or even better, what franchises do we have on here that you think should not be on here?
I think they're all pretty bad. Well, sorry. I mean, there's obviously each of these has at least 1 or 2 good movies in them, and that's the problem. So... fair enough. All right. Good draft. Yeah. All right. Should we talk about our homework?
Yeah, let's talk about it again, because for those of you listening, this is our 3rd time recording homework specifically. First, I ran out of storage, and then this dude thought he hit record on his phone and didn't. I think the generational gap is showing up in terms of how we handle technology here.
I mean, you also failed to clear your card, so it's it's a 50-50 thing.
I don't remember that.
I'll start off by saying that I was not able to watch Nezatu. I wasn't able to find a theater close enough to me that I could get to with my work schedule, so I'm still hunting it down, and definitely want to see it, but unfortunately haven't yet.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I definitely set you up for failure a little bit, but I had to take a shot. I went and saw it in theaters. I hoped you'd have an opportunity to do the same, but I know it didn't perform very well, so I'm sure it was limited even further to which theaters it was appearing in and when. So,
yeah, and I'm hoping that I still can go see it in a theater. I just have to maybe do it on a weekend or something like that. And I just haven't. I didn't have that opportunity yet. So I apologize for not completing my homework. How about you? How did you do on your homework?
I watched A Complete Unknown, and I got to be honest, it wasn't my favorite. I know you're a little disappointed. I just don't know anything about Bob Dylan, and there's this new genre of movie. It's called young actors that I like playing musicians who I don't know, and and it's not my favorite genre. I mean, I'm not huge on the biopics, anyways.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to get into those. It helps if it's something like Elvis, where I know his songs, I know his story. You know, I can feel the highs of it because this music is a part of my life. But when these big moments are happening in A Complete Unknown, I'm just not connecting because I've never heard this song in my life before. You know, and if I have, I don't listen to it regularly, and so while I know that this is probably a better movie than Elvis, I enjoyed Elvis more. Ultimately, I think it had great performances in it, but it wasn't about something that I much cared about.
Yep, I get it. That makes sense. And so I guess I set you up to fail as well. And this week we both failed on that as far as assignments goes. I mean, Dylan's music means so much to me. I respect him so much as a musician, as a poet, as an activist, etc. But that does mean I held this movie to a high standard. And it cleared that bar for me. But I get how it would be maybe less impactful if you're not super familiar with his music, which I contend you should become familiar with his music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more interested now than I was before. So that might happen. We'll see.
Fair enough. Okay. So I have homework for you this week. We're going to go to another classic. You've enjoyed classics, last few classics I've given you. And so I'm going to give you another Audrey Hepburn film. This one is called Charade.
Okay.
This is a thriller, mystery, whodunit, foreign intrigue, all kinds of stuff. And it also stars Cary Grant and Walter Matthau and a handful of other really great actors. So I'm excited that you're going to see this. There was a remake. Don't watch that one. Don't confuse it with that one. That was with a totally different title, not even called Charade, but it'll stars Mark Wahlberg. So don't watch that one. That's not the one you should watch. You should watch Charade, Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be giving you a movie called Reptile. Don't confuse it with the remake called Amphibian. Completely different title. Don't watch it on accident, okay?
Okay, Thanks. Okay, all right.
For real, though.
I wanted to be clear. Don't watch the Mark Wahlberg.
When I search Charade into Amazon,
mess with me
I'll
now.
make sure to not click on a movie called something other than Charade. I'll do my best. I think I'm at least that competent.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyways, my homework
Mark
for you.
Wahlberg is very much like a virus. He just infects stuff. So
okay,
you just never know.
My homework for you is a movie called Reptile. I kind of chose it on the fly. I had forgotten to assign you homework. Okay. So I've chosen Reptile. It is a Fincher-esque, if made by Netflix, thriller, kind of murder thriller.
Fincher movies are made by Netflix.
Yes, I wouldn't put it up there. Don't expect Seven or Zodiac or Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But I think it's really solid. I think it's really solid for what it is. It has Benicio del Toro and Justin Timberlake, who occasionally throws out a good performance. And
occasionally works with Fincher.
Yep, exactly. So I think it's enjoyable. I don't think it's a masterpiece. This is a theme. I've run out of masterpieces to give you. You know, I'm kind of struggling to find movies that I still think you might enjoy. But I will say this. Watch it in your room at night with the lights off. Be immersed in this story. And I want you to pay attention to the editing. It might be... it's pretty different. I like the way it's edited. Some might say that it's too fresh out of film school trying to be different. I didn't necessarily feel that way when watching it. I just enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's not a life-changing movie, but it's part of a genre that I really enjoy, and I know you do too, so I think you might like it.
Okay. You know what? I think coincidentally, this might be in my Netflix queue. I have not watched it, but I think I spotted it a couple years back and added it, and then unfortunately never got around to it. So that's good. And for what it's worth, I hope that you can't keep coming up with masterpieces that I haven't seen, but because that would be really sad to me. I feel like I've seen most of them, but that doesn't. They don't have to be masterpieces. They just have to be things that you think I might like that I haven't seen.
Fair enough.
Okay, Reptile for me and Charade for you. We will circle back on that in our next episode. See how we liked it, right?
Yep.
Anyway, we've debated, we ranked, we disagreed, though not about who shot first. It's all just another day in the galaxy.
So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Until the next episode, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast, but winter is also coming, so may the Force live long and prosper with you.
Because we can do this all day. Peace.
Thanks for listening, watching, all that stuff. Bye.
All that stuff.